All right, everyone, welcome to a special video today. I'm here, obviously out at Maple Hill, one of the greatest courses in the country, and we're playing Maple Golds, one shot only, kind of tournament round scenario. I'm mic'd up, and behind the camera today I have Gatekeeper Media. Double camera, something that has never happened on the vlog. Front 9 will be on my channel, and then the back 9 on Gatekeeper's channel, so I'll talk you through my thoughts, strategies, my discs, and I think it'll be fun to watch. So enjoy. All right, hole 1 is obviously a crusher, one of the most unique and picturesque hole 1s on tour, maybe the number 1, I'd say. Definitely in my Dream 18. I'm just throwing a PD2. This one is pretty stable, pretty straight for me. And if you haven't warmed up properly, you just want to make sure to clear the water and land somewhere in the pine trees up there, and then hopefully you have a nice upshot. All right, here we go. Good, solid 90% power. That's drifting nicely. That actually might land right next to the other camera guy. Oh, right in front of him. That's pretty much perfect. One take wonder. So we are right in the middle. We don't have any pine trees to worry about, which is nice. But you can already see that the footing is the main concern here. I'm right on the slope here, sloping down to the path, which has put me off balance a bit. This might make me shank my shot a bit right because of the way the slope is sloping. And if I had a sidearm right now, I'd probably opt for that. But because I'm trying to take it easy on my elbow, I'm throwing backhand. Just grabbing my P1X putter. This one is pretty straight to understable, so if I throw it flat, it should kind of just like slowly die out to the right instead of left, which is kind of a cool tool. And for upshots like this, it's all about finding something to aim for. Obviously, I can barely even see the basket, so I'm aiming to the left side of the gap because that's where I want to initially release the disc, and then the disc should do the work by fading to the right. And my aim point is the first tree on the left, right in the gap. Keep it low. Give it somewhat of a committed power shot. And that is way overturned. That needs to get lucky. Hit it. Oh, I think that's OB. Okay, that can happen. I could have easily hit this branch and dropped inbounds, but I'm pretty sure it's OB. Is that OB? Yeah. So I'm just gonna go right here. With the new rule, you can go as far back as you want from the OB line in a straight line with the basket. But I'm gonna stay pretty close up here. Now this is a par putt, so I'm gonna really try and give this a run. Just turn it over, give it some height, give it a chance. Drop. Wow, that went just over the basket. Almost went OB again, long, after skipping on top of the basket. That's a tap and bogey. That was almost good though. I mean, I get a meter from the OB line here, which is 3 feet-ish. And then tap and bogey. And if there's one thing we've learned in life, it is that good rounds start with a bogey. So I did everything right, I guess. But okay, hole 2 is slightly uphill. And this one is sneakily long. It says 350, but it plays more like 450, like feeling wise. And this is all about not pulling it into the right OB. So I'm aiming for the cluster of trees on the left. With a flippy disc, I'm gonna throw the DD3. Just a high-speed driver just to make sure I get it there. Just aim for the trees on the left and try and give it some power. I turned it over. Lucky. That is not lucky. All right, good rounds start with 2 bogeys. Yeah, it's always important to realize that bogeys happen to everyone. And if you think about it, if you start with a bogey, it can't get worse. I mean, it can. I might get another bogey here actually, because I think that stayed OB. I'm gonna try and nail a 100-footer uphill to boost the confidence. But this is what Maple Hill will do to you. You can throw decent shots and get bogeys very quickly. All right, I see my disc up there. I think I almost hit this tree right here, so I'm just gonna go right here. Oh, this is a long putt. I have to give this everything I have, basically. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh, man. That was another great run from way downtown, but it's not good enough. Tap in another bogey. Oh, the beauty of Maple Hill. So quickly, you have 2 bogeys on the scorecard. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Another fun thing about this place is that usually if you go 2 over early in the round, you'll make yourself a goal, like a short-term goal. Okay, within the next 5 holes I want to be back at even, for example. But this course, it's like birding this hole is so hard, and then every hole something can go wrong. So here it's really, you got to go shot by shot and just try to get back on pace. So I'm pulling out another high-speed driver here for the first wooded shot. Just try to hit the initial gap and then kind of see what happens. It's hard to aim for a gap that is 200 feet away. All right, there's a little tree on the left. That's kind of my aiming point. I want to turn it over just before that. That is the best shot I've ever thrown on this hole. Skip in. Wow. That is long of the basket. I hit that exactly how I wanted. Perfect little S-curve through the woods. And that PD2 has speed on it, and it skipped right next to the basket. Well, that'll be a putt for birdie. Chance to get back, come on. The treacherous Maple Hill woods. Lots of elevation. Hundreds of trees to hit. And man, I can't recommend enough to come out here one day. It's a destination course, and just, I feel like it's actually one of the hardest courses to shoot under par that I've ever played. Whoa, and not trip. Oh, where did I end up here? Almost at the next tee pad it looked like. But, oh, it's right there. Circle's edge. Okay. Always check the surrounding on the green. Where does it slope? Where's the trees? What miss is a good miss? What's a bad miss? I would say I'm pretty much exactly circle's edge here, a bit closer inside the circle. So I want to make this. No sunglasses needed. This is my first putt of the day, so not too high expectations. But that counts. Slightly high, a little more hyzer than I would like. But you know, in is in, and can't really complain about that. All right, there's one back on a hole. I didn't really expect it. A good rule of thumb is to take a sip of water at least every other hole, depending on the weather, depending on the heat. But even if it's not warm outside, or if you don't feel dehydrated or thirsty, it's so key to keep your body nice and hydrated, and it'll make everything work better. That's something I definitely also have to stick better by. All right, but here we are, hole 4. This is a hole historically I've done pretty well on. It says 250 feet, but this plays more like 100 feet. It is so drastically downhill. It looks treacherous, but the water doesn't really come into play for me because I'm just putting it. And all you want to do is hug the right tree, the first tree off the tee pad. I want to barely miss that with my putt. So that's a target that's 20 feet away, which I can hit pretty accurately. So I'm just going to putt it, try to barely miss that tree, and then I'm throwing my flippiest putter, which will give me the most glide. And I know I can't go long because I can't putt at 200 feet. All right, hit the gap, nice and low, let the disc float. And I hit the tree. No! Oh man, I never hit that tree. That's very disappointing. That would have been so good too. Damn it. Okay, I'm still in a decent spot there to save a par. Man. Okay, here we go. Didn't get too far off the tee. And this is a bit trickier than I thought it was going to be. I could go for the outside gap, slide it up. I think I'm going to throw the same disc again just because it's less overstable and it'll go way straighter for longer. I'm just going to go for that gap and it's going to leave me probably inside the circle, barely. Oh, that was perfect actually. It ended up perfect, but it was about 1 inch of being really bad. Yeah, exactly like my tee shot, which was 1 inch not perfect. 1 inch other and I would have been parked for birdie probably. That's how it goes. And that's sometimes the most frustrating thing in disc golf is, oh, if it just was like this 1/4 of an inch different, your whole round would be a different story. It's a game of inches. Tapping in for par. I don't need to take my bag off for this one. Par is good on any hole out here, basically. Now this hole is a hole that all you care about is being safe. There's the risky route over the water. It's a lot of people choose sidearm. I'm not throwing sidearm today. And if you want a safe par, I wouldn't say safe, but I would say like 85% chance par, you will take a right skip route and just lay it up for a 3. But I'm off pace. I am going for the green with the slight turnover, MD3, and the stretch after this hole, hole 6, hole 7, hole 8 and 9. That's the stretch if you come out with par. That's really good. So if I can get this birdie, I'm at least set up back at even par before the hard stretch. All right, what I'm thinking here is hit the gap, give it power and turn it over. Commit to turning it over because you want to miss right. You want to miss right rather than you want to miss left. Is that safe? It looked safe from here. Did you see something in there? I think it's good. I think it should be a putt for 2.
It looks safe to me.
Is that safe? Okay. All right, achieved the safe. I definitely, I'd say I put it on a good height. I put it on exactly the angle I wanted. I really forced it over. That disc is pretty neutral, pretty straight, slightly overstable. So I really knew that I could bend on it. Like sometimes throwing a slightly more stable disc on Anheuser shots will give you more confidence to commit to the angle. And a flippy disc is so touchy, a little too much angle will just turn it into a roller, and not enough angle will obviously ruin your whole shot. So that's why you see a lot of pros just throw overstable stuff, because it's easier to control and has more room for error kind of. So that's probably just outside circle 1 if I had to guess. Maybe 2 or 3 feet outside, which, you know, those are the favorite putts because it's the bonus circle 2 stat. This gives you a chance to knock one out in that's not that far. The only thing here is you want to avoid is skipping on top of the basket and going in the water. Slight headwind. So I'm going to aim for just the upper part of the rim. Try and float it in. Oh, pulled it. Dang it. Airball always feels way worse. Probably also looks way worse than it actually was. Oh, that wind gust got me. I don't want to make excuses though. Tap and par. Damn, that was a good chance. Those always feel bad if you missed out on a good chance to get back another stroke. But you know, it's still a par at Maple Hill. It's not bad. Couple hikes already today. It's good for the blood flow. And now this is a hole. It's a par 3 where a 3 is very, very good. Unless you throw the perfect tee shot and nail a good putt, Very rarely birdied. I'd say probably less, definitely less than 10% birdies on this hole. Probably more around 1%. I'm throwing a nice strike, pretty flippy FD, and I'm going to try and lace it on a hyzer, have it flip to flat, and I'm basically aiming straight for the second camera down there. Hopefully hit the gap. Usually I'd go sidearm here. It's a lot easier to hit a sidearm gap just because you're all face forward, but not today. Backhand, power grip, slight hyzer. I'm trying to aim it a bit left because I tend to pull it slightly. And then just give it some power. Turn, turn, turn. Oh, that's so perfect. Slide. Yes. That might be my best backhand I've ever thrown here because I never throw backhand, but that's going to be circle's edge as well for birdie, which is a huge bonus. And I'm excited to check out where it landed. Also, of course, it's very weird and different to talk through all this because usually these are just thoughts that go through your mind, and I think the ideal athlete mentality is almost a blank mind. That's when I've noticed that I've been playing my best, is when I don't even remember what I was thinking about during a shot. It all just comes naturally and feels like automatic without you having to think about it. That's the dream. It's called being in the zone. Hard to find, and once you get out, very hard to get back in. But look at this, we're pin high, circle's edge again, so I get a chance for redemption. Get a chance for redemption here. All right. I actually grabbed a different putter this time. All right, I pulled it right on the last putt, similar distance, no wind. So just commit to the left side of the basket. That worked exactly how I liked it. And that's a 1%er here, guys. 1%er birdie on treacherous hole 6. And now to hole 7, which is, in my opinion, even harder than this one, but we're back at even par. Sky's the limit now. All right, welcome to treacherous hole 7, man. This hole, I think Eagle McMahon has had 5s and 6s on this hole. This hole is brutal. And this hole is all about the drive. If you get off the tee well, it's super simple. If you miss the first 5 trees, it's super simple, easy par, sometimes birdie looks. But if you don't hit this tiny gap, which is about 15 feet wide the whole way to the basket, it is scramble town. And man, I'm gonna grab my Glow PD2 again, which I threw on hole 3 just perfectly. Gonna try to pretty much mimic that shot. My FD I just threw would be a good disc as well, but doesn't quite have the distance. This is uphill, and I'm actually really confident with this disc. So I'm gonna aim slightly left side again, slight hyzer, have the disc flip up, and then hopefully ride as far as it can get. But the main initial gap, the main initial aim point is definitely about 50 to 60 feet in front of me. All right, hyzer. Oh, I hit the initial gap. That's a bit too much hyzer. Miss it? Okay. That might not, I'm super happy with that. That might not be a birdie look from inside 60 feet, but it's definitely a par, which is a success on this hole. I love it. That's a chance. Okay, where did this one end up? It probably got a nice skip right here. If I had to guess, it would be right in this area. Don't see it yet. Where'd it go? Longer? Wow. In the bushes. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, I'm right here. Okay, this is probably the worst case scenario for a shot of that quality on this hole. So I went a bit too long. Maybe an FD3 would have been a better choice of disc. But then again, getting a 3 on this hole, you can't really complain about anything. You're probably gaining a stroke with that average. Okay, let me see if there's a gap that I somewhat could attack. I have a tiny window right here where I could putt through on a hyzer and give it a run. Slight risk of me hitting an early branch and leaving myself a 70-footer for par. But if you know me, it's no risk, no fun attitude. And I think I'm going to try and go for that gap. Actually, now that I look at it again, it's a pretty stupid gap. If I stand up, I'm just going to go for a high, super high hyzer putt. And this is a miracle if it strikes metal. Oh, okay. I think that was worst case scenario there with where the disc ended up. But still a par. I mean, if I had a chance to sign a paper that says I'm gonna get a par on this for the rest of my life, I'd probably sign it. What a hole, man. This is so unique. Such a signature looking hole. Water, 320 feet of straight water. The basket is probably less than 20 feet away from the edge. And this is decision time. A lot of players opt for sidearms here, which I can totally understand. First of all, you can throw a driver, swing it out wide and high, which makes it way easier to control your distance. And you can crash in the trees on the left and probably be safe 90% of the time. But since I'm not throwing sidearm today, I actually hit the basket here in Maple Hill, final round. Were you guys filming that? Nice. And I hit the putt from like 45 feet outside. But today I'm just going for a mid-range straight at it, because that's my life right now. Straight MD3. The only thing you want to avoid here is don't leave it short. And reverse mentality here, you want to say to yourself, give it power, keep it long, keep it long. You don't want to go for the negative, don't keep it short. You want to go for the positive, keep it long. Give it some power, give it a chance. Give it a chance to get safe. Slight headwind, so a bit of extra power. That has the distance. Missed the branches. In the hole. Oh! That almost fell into the basket right off those branches. This hole is so fun. Can I throw one more?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw one more. Just for fun. I have another Glow MD3 right here. Try to throw it similarly. I don't want to lose this disc, so commit. Oh, it's too flippy. I thought that was more stable. I haven't thrown that a lot. But it's over the water, it's in bounds, and that's still a good result. But that first one actually almost fell in the basket off the branch. That was sick. Easy birdie, under par, guys. Oh, this hole is something so special in the tournament with, what do you call them, the 8 holes or something?
Yeah.
I'd say 50 to 80 people right behind the basket, sipping beers. It's like a stadium feel almost, because they're loud, they sing, they scream, they cheer, and it adds a lot of pressure. But if my shot would stick it like that in the tournament, you could hear the applause in the whole course. Some people like it, some people don't, but it definitely created something pretty unique and special. That one looked pretty close. How was that? It probably fell in off these branches.
Like 2 feet, like 2 feet.
Right behind the basket. Yeah. All right, tap in. This basket is extraordinarily low, as you can see, so it adds an extra challenge because usually we have elevated baskets, but never really low ones. It messes with your brain a bit, but not really. All right, under par, I'm gonna throw a putter. It is technically reachable, but not even I'm crazy enough to try and go for this because you literally have no clue where this is gonna end up. Understable putter, try to throw it straight, aim for that first initial gap, 90 feet off the tee, and then the putter should go straight and slightly glide to the right. And with the right power, it should give me maybe a long eagle look. That's always the dream here, to have a long eagle look and nail it. Hit the gap, a bit too high, but not bad at all. It's gonna be in good position for a 3, probably a bit short for a 2, but I will never complain about that shot ever. Up next. This course has so many hikes to the tee pads and up the fairways. The next hole is probably the sickest hike, and the hole after hole 12. Whew, it's definitely a workout out here. Very fun. And I actually played a round of speed golf here on Golds. Filmed terribly, but the idea is what counts. And I played this course in under 30 minutes, which I felt so dead afterwards, and the next 3 days I could barely walk. It was so fun. But this is also one of the most exhausting courses to play, I think, because of the long holes and all the hikes in between. Well, this is kind of worst case scenario. You see, a cool thing about Maple Hill is that it has 4 different layouts, and they're working on a 5th layout, the diamond layout for the girls, which is going to be completely sick and make the course way better for them. And I parked the red and white basket. So I'm gonna have to deal with a basket in my way. But I only have like 140 feet left. This is a downhill putt. Try and give it a run. At least try and get it safe. That's the main priority. All right, I'm aiming for the tree on the right of the basket. Go. Oh, never gave it a run, but it's safe. And a 3 here counts as a birdie. Okay, so one of the most picturesque greens in disc golf history, I think. Surrounded by a little waterfall, awesome lake. You just have to like sit down and appreciate the scenery here for a sec and tap in for a par. Or I guess you can call this a birdie. I think we're gonna call this a birdie today. Just because moving 2 under par, 3 under in the last 4 holes. That's really good. And they actually moved this basket closer to the water and elevated a bit for the tournament to call it a real par 4. I don't know if that makes sense, but what a sick hole. Looking back, it's so cool. Nicest green in disc golf. All right, 2 under, let's go. All right, guys, 2 under par in the front. I'm not gonna say it's a genius moment, but it's definitely very respectable. Anything under par here at Maple is awesome. Front 9 down, the back 9 is way more scoreable, especially for me being a power thrower. A lot of reachable not reachable, but very birdieable par 4s and awesome signature holes. Hole 14 is coming up, hole 18, the tower hole right here. And man, if you want to check out the back 9, head over to Gatekeeper Media. Those guys are out there grinding disc golf footage, a lot of tournament second card coverages. So if you're hungry for extra footage, then check out Gatekeeper. Obviously, subscribe to their channel. And if you want to watch the back 9, go over there right now and enjoy. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And huge shout out to Gatekeeper for being here with double camera and miking me up. So see you next time.